The MP for two cousins in jail in Cyprus says he's confident they'll come back to the UK to serve out their sentences. Michael Binnington and Luke Atkinson from Witham were extradited in December to serve 3 years for manslaughter. They were passengers in a car which killed a moped rider in Cyprus in 2006. The Braintree MP Brooks Newmark says he's spoken about the case with the Justice Secretary Jack Straw. The Norfolk and Norwich University Hospital will remain closed to visitors over the weekend because of the norovirus bug. It was hoped the ban would be lifted today, but it will now be reviewed on Monday.
One of the key companies involved in the redevelopment of the waterfront in Ipswich has gone into administration. The company had already stopped some of its building work.
When push comes to shove, especially in a slump, it's the bankers who call the tune, which explains why the firm behind this partly completed Regatta Quay complex, City Living Developments Ipswich, has been forced to call in the administrators. The site is made up of new homes and commercial units, and while they won't be directly affected, in the long term, they could well end up with a new landlord. A spokesman for the administrators, Grant Thornton, was guarded this morning when I asked the obvious question: what happens now? He said it was a large and complex site with many stakeholders. Nothing would be happening overnight. He said they would be exploring all opportunities to protect and enhance the value of this development. The firm had already stopped work on the second phase of construction work last autumn because of a fall in demand. The site is expected to include a new 220-seat theatre called the Witch Bottle. It will be used by the Ipswich-based Red Rose chain and theatre company. Given that building work was already on hold, it says the latest news isn't a huge surprise, but it's hoping progress can be made in the longer term.
I suppose it's part of the development business that you know, some of them don't work out, but I think the people who funded the scheme will be wanting to make sure that they can sell the scheme on to somebody else and bring it to fruition in the future.
The plans also featured a new hotel with 88 rooms for the operator Travelodge. It says it too is monitoring the situation. Kevin Birch, BBC Look East in Ipswich.
The Centre Parcs holiday village in Suffolk is getting its own police community support officer because of the number of break-ins. This week 5 villas were broken into and hundreds of bikes have been stolen over the last 2 years.
Farmers in the region are again facing delays over European Union subsidies. Single farm payments were brought in more than 5 years ago, but many farmers had to wait months before they saw the money. Now it seems this year some won't be paid by the April deadline.
One farmer who's still waiting for money due to him. Ed Langford works on his parents' farm near Downham Market in Norfolk, but he also rents land from another farm, and his annual subsidy for that land, money from the single payment scheme, was due before Christmas. He still hasn't had the cash.
Obviously the landlord wants his money, and he's not going to turn around and say, well, you know, let's leave it a bit. He wants his money when he wants his money, and I need to pay him, and I need the money. I am in a fortunate situation where I do have another income from my parents, but I appreciate that most farmers don't have that.
The scheme was set up to distribute European money to farmers more efficiently and to encourage more environmentally friendly farming practices. But it's been beset with delays and huge extra costs because of a complicated IT system. By the end of March, 1 in 10 farmers still won't have been paid. The responsibility falls to the Rural Payments Agency. By early December, they'd paid 85% of the 107,000 claims. They say if any farmer hasn't yet been paid, it's because their claim is still being processed or checked. They say they're working to finalise all claims as quickly as possible. This month, a new voluntary scheme was launched to encourage farmers to do more for the environment. But some are questioning how they can be expected to go that extra mile if money due to them is still being held back. Alex Dunlop, BBC Look East.
And you can see a full report on the problems facing the farming industry on the Politics Show, Sunday at midday on BBC One. The Lowestoft Air Festival boosted the local economy by £11.5 million last year, according to an independent report. The show also created 180 jobs and brought in nearly 500,000 people. The search is now on for a new sponsor. You're watching Look East from the BBC. Coming up, the hard way to lose weight.
He came back from that and said he'd had such a good day.
He looked shattered, poor man.
He's the first person I've seen nearly sleeping standing up. In sport, it's an important weekend for two of our teams in two different cup competitions.
Ipswich are in the FA Cup tomorrow, but first tonight it's the Heineken Cup for Northampton Saints. Tom Williams is here now with a look ahead. Tom.
Thank you. Northampton are enjoying a fantastic season, and a win tonight will guarantee their place in the quarter-finals of Europe's Premier Cup competition. Saints are playing Munster in Ireland. Around 3,000 fans have made the trip to cheer them on.
If you're a Saints fan, it's a game that you simply mustn't miss. Checking in at Luton this morning, the supporters were clearly in good spirits. According to some, checking out of the Heineken Cup is not an option.
We're playing as well as we've ever played at the moment, so if we're going to do it at all, it's going to be today.
We've got a good team, they're up for it, so yeah, I think we've got a very good chance, and we're looking forward to the match.
It won't be easy, though, against one of Europe's toughest club sides.
My heart says, yeah, Saints should win, but my head said, ooh, it's going to be a very tough game.
We're playing probably one of the best club sides in the world, and I think we'll do very well to come away with a win.
Under Jim Mallinder's spell, Saints' form this season has been magical, challenging for the Premiership title and on the verge of the knockout stages in the Heineken Cup, thanks to 4 wins in the competition so far, including last week against the French side Perpignan.
Slits a pass out to Ashton. Ashton, is he going to get a second? Ashton cuts inside. Phil Dowson's going to score. A super second score from the Saints.
We have got a good team. We're physical when we want to be. We're physical up front. We can scrum, we can line out, we can drive, and then we can also play rugby as well behind. So I think we've got the team that can cope.
Munster play in Limerick on the banks of the River Shannon. It's a tranquil setting for an explosive match. Saints need to win to go through, but defeat with a bonus point could also be enough. 3,000 Saints fans will enjoy the view and hope for the result. Jonathan Park, BBC Look East.
Wasn't Limerick looking lovely? Kick-off in Munster tonight is in just over an hour. There'll be live commentary from James Burridge on BBC Radio Northampton. He sent this report a short while ago.
26,000 people are slowly starting to fill Thomond Park for one of the most eagerly anticipated games of the year. The bars are full to the brim, bursting with the blood red of Munster and the green, black and gold of Northampton. Limerick is lit up and the stage is set. Leicester are the only side in 12 years to have beaten Munster here in European competition. Tonight we'll see if a resurgent and rampant Northampton of late have the mental and physical fight for the battle when the game kicks off at 8 o'clock.
Also in rugby, Bedford face a gruelling trip to Devon tomorrow to face the Championship's second-place side, Exeter. OK, to the FA Cup, Ipswich are the region's only team left in it. They head to Southampton tomorrow in round 4. As I found out, the competition proved to be the launch pad for the career of John Walters at Portman Road. Down at the docks, where of course you'll find the skipper. The skipper of Ipswich Town, he sailed into the club after an FA Cup voyage that took an uncharted course.
We played Bury in the FA Cup at Chester and got beat. And I feel a play they shouldn't have. And the FA sort of threw them out of the competition and put us in. And so we drew Ipswich in the FA Cup, drew with them at home, and managed to do well enough in the 2 games to get a move here, really.
So 2 weeks later, after playing for Chester, you're in a town shirt.
Yeah, so I've done pretty well. I've done well enough in the game to get a move, yeah. Sort of a whirlwind. I wasn't expecting it at all, really, and to come to Ipswich was a great move for me, really.
And now you're the captain.
Yeah, captain. Came around, enough, Alex got injured earlier on in the season, and I've just sort of took over from him, so sort of happy with the responsibility that it brings, and bringing my game on, really.
John's just 26, but Ipswich is already his 9th club. Goals like this in his 3 years here have made him popular with the fans and his manager.
John's been outstanding. He's shown good leadership skills. He trains well. He's got a good attitude. I think he set 2 of the goals up last weekend. Absolutely no doubt in my mind, John Walters could easily be playing in the Premiership. So we're very lucky to have him.
And a full international cap with the Republic of Ireland could also be on the horizon. Tomorrow, though, his focus is firmly on the cup. Is the competition still magical for you?
Yeah, it is, especially with what happened to me. It's not going to be an easy game for us, Southampton. I've been a lower league team, in the FA Cup, and it does lift your game, and all them players that we're playing against will have a point to prove. It'll be a feisty game, so, you know, we're all looking forward to it.
Ipswich won the cup in '78, and now with Captain Walters at the helm, they hope to edge closer to replicating that glory. Yes, Ipswich going better now, so it's just Peterborough